You're just joining us, you're still watching TVC Breakfast, and we're live from our Abuja studio. And with us in the studio is the Minister of State, Agriculture and Food Security, Aliyu Abdullahi. Well, thank you for staying with us still on the program. Well, agriculture in Nigeria has been adversely affected by the impact of climate change. This has led to crop failures, reduced yields, and change in the growing season. How is the administration helping rural farmers build resilience and also adapt new ways of sustaining productivity instead of the reliance on rainfall, which has become very unpredictable?
Thank you very much. You see, agriculture is science. Okay. And so the foundation of agriculture is research and then innovation and technology. What we realized since we came on board is that if you have a production system, somebody should be seeing what is happening and feeding it with new, improved way of doing this, what we call agronomic practices. Now, our research institute, and Nigeria has a very robust research system. But over the years, they've suffered. It might interest you to know that the research institutes have never been assessed, evaluated, and supported in a massive way to support the large agricultural productivity we're expecting for the past 40 years. The last assessment and review of the research institute was done during the Shagari regime. But as we speak today, this is happening under the regime of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, because the National Agricultural Development Fund, which has just come on board, has now conducted what we call, baseline survey and needs assessment of the Agricultural Research Institute and Federal Colleges of Agriculture in Nigeria. The report was just appraised last week. It was presented by the consultants last week. What does this mean? It means we now want to see the capacity of our research institutes to respond to these things you have talked about. Because when there is climate change, you need technology that will respond to it by having what we call drought tolerance, disease resistant, short duration varieties. It's only researchers that can do this. But where the researchers are not supported, how can they do that? And when you go and import wrongly, you end up with the kind of case we had with the ginger and with the tuta absoluta and even with the onion, which was reported just recently, when the onion producers, marketers, and processors visited us to tell us that somebody went and brought the wrong seed and it affected people. So, like I said, the president is not just looking at how do we solve the common, the problem that is eating us up, but what do we do to put a sustainable path so that when we exit, we're not going to have a re-entry. And I think that is what we're doing. And with this, the target is to have the Research Institute respond first to our food security crops. We're talking about maize, rice, wheat, soy, cassava, yam, potato, cowpea, and the like. All of them are our top priority. And all the institutes where these things are, they will be given all the necessary attention so that the researchers can see the problem in the field, respond to it in terms of all these things you have talked about. Okay. And I think that is the way to go.
Yeah, Honourable Minister, good to hear that the research institutes will be, will I say incentive, a lot of
they will be revived and
yeah.
revitalized.
So we have things like the Nigerian Institute for Oil Palm Research in Benin going to have a good life. Now, my worry is, for instance, we used to have the presidential initiative on cassava. Though it's been acknowledged that we're still a leading producer of cassava, but the fact is that Nigeria is not a key player in the global market.
Absolutely.
Now, let me ask, what is responsible if we have this huge capacity and we are not key players in the global market? And also, we used to have in the First Republic, we had the cocoa in the southwest, we have the oil palm in the east, we have the granite in the north. Now, we have the president introducing the geopolitical commission. Let me use the word geopolitical commission. Is your ministry working with this to see how we can revive those old-time capacities we do have and to ensure that the value chain of production is sustained and promoted?
Well, let me say thank you for this question. That's why you see me smiling. Because one of the things we have just recognized after appraisal is what you have just said. I would have said maybe you stole
have
it from us.
Inside information.
Yes. But let me say this, you are very right. Today, Nigeria is the #1 producer of cassava globally. But when you check the global trade statistics, the bar, Nigeria, is not even visible. So what happened is this. We had what we call the Root and Tuber Expansion Program, which ran since 1990s up to maybe I think about 2008 or thereabout. And we have done the expansion. So right now, just this year's budget, haven't realized that we have expanded. But for what? We have decided to change to what we call the Root and Tuber Industry and Export Development Program. Now this program is now going to look at the industrial application of cassava, which is many. Issue of starch, high quality cassava flour, and all the other things that is produced from cassava, so that we can also partake in the global what do they call it market, which is a multi-billion market, and Nigeria has the capacity. If we can get even 20% of our total production processed into all of this, that will be a massive injection of opportunity for job creation and all the other things that Nigerians so desire. And so this program, we're looking at it, and in terms of partnership, there are many partners we've lined up. In fact, even NASENI, National Agency for Science, Education and Infrastructure, we realize they have certain capacity that we have to bring in terms of this. So you are right. And I will tell you clearly that there is a response already. And we are working very hard to make sure that this response is not going to just be, like I said, it's not a flash in the pan. So we take our time to do the programming, to bring in all the actors, so that at the end of the day, we will definitely get the result that this is intended to achieve.